Hi. Last week Stephen was pretty ambitious and he posted some really wonderful stories. In keeping with successful tales, I thought I might talk about some of the dogs stories. Now, we had some people that had run into one of our family members who has a very well-behaved dog, good Airedale, older dog, and the woman called me because she was so impressed with the way John's dog acted. It was wonderful. So we arranged a private session, and she and her son came down, nice people, and they watched a good chunk of a class, and then told me that they wanted the dogs to be happier. They wanted a trainer who was kinder, who trained with food, and who liked dogs. Okay. I guess that means I don't like dogs and I'm cruel. Okay, whatever. All right. So I told them that they should not be here. She had a baby Airedale, 7 months old. Called because the dog was counter surfing, getting into everything, bolting outdoors, jumping all over people, and being very playful with other dogs. And I said, it's okay that you don't come here. I have no problem with that. But I just have a question for you. If you're already having a problem with the dog stealing food, you're already having a problem with the dog disrespecting you, you're already having a dog with the dog not coming for your food, how's this going to fix it? To go to somebody who uses food as the focus. Her answer was, we may be back. So at 7 months old, we're doing trial and error. 7 months old is comparable to about a 16-year-old child. It's sad, because at that point, you don't have a lot of wiggle room left. That kid's becoming an adult. The dog is becoming an adult. And pretty soon the sense of humor kind of goes away. So it was really an interesting experience, and I was kind of flabbergasted because when people come here normally, I'm not kind, but anyway, it was pretty impressive. So along with that kind of identified the way my week started. Along with that, we had a number of other fun things. Okay, Carolyn, have you got a dog? I start seeing Carolyn more often here. She's kind of partner in crime these days. She's actually hanging around here full time, and she's figuring out that we need more days in the week. That's all there is to it. Anyway, we train a lot of dogs. I don't know how I ever did it alone because we're too busy with the two of us. So along with Saturday, when, I don't know. Anyway, I'm still flustered to that one. On Tuesday, we have the other side of the coin. Very nice man. Shows Lakelands. Breeder of Lakelands. Small, he doesn't breed a lot of dogs. And nice dogs. He drove up from Arizona. That's the dedication of a breeder. And brought this dog. It seems that the dog was being shown, and some very nice people wanted that dog for their pet. That's fine. What do you want for him? Wrote him out a check. Took the dog home. The problem with it is, this dog was with a handler who had encouraged this dog to be full of fire. Beautiful show dog. Sadly, it did not prepare the dog to live with a 75-year-old couple. So he failed miserably in their home. Now, a lot of breeders will tell me they're not trainers. Unfortunately, you are. If you're raising a child, you're the trainer. If you're raising a puppy, you're the trainer. It's going to go on. So if the puppy has been raised to simply be a show dog, how does that help in moving into a home where it's going to be a companion to grandkids? Doesn't. So when he came up,
Boy Hunter.
no.
Leave it?
Leave it. Don't let him get that one. Leave it. Thank you. When he came up, he had Hunter. He had a little older dog, 6-year-old female, and he was letting them play. Unfortunately, Holly had never played at the level this dog was playing at. So Holly was actually being bullied. She was kind of pitiful looking because she's waiting for him to save her, and he read it as play. Well, I walked out and observed that for about 2 minutes, and I said, I know where your problem is. Holly's looking to you for security, and you're not offering it. So when we educated Bruce, instead of now going into being placed in another home, the plan is that he's going to come back and get Hunter, and Hunter will become a wonderful family member who will help imprint puppies, the future puppies. He's doing awesome. So he came last night. That's how good he is. Aggression towards other dogs. Not as growling, snarling, but wanting to play too rough constantly. He would have never stood next to this dog that I have on Tuesday. Okay. So Hunter is going to be a spectacular dog by the time he has been here a month. And then Bruce will drive, he has a company up in North Dakota, and then he goes back to Arizona, and then he's going to drive back up here to pick him up. That's the dedication of a breeder. And I have great admiration for somebody with an open mind enough and willing to put that much work and thought into one of their dogs. I mean, that's wonderful. So, anyway, thank you very much. Another success story this week to offset my upsetting Saturday. I don't fixate on things at all. But anyway, is this dog. He was purchased as a baby, and the people did nothing to teach him anything. He's fine. He spent 1.5 years in a basement because they didn't know what to do with him. He was never allowed to be nasty, but he never had structure. So a breeder in Michigan brought him here, and he was rehabilitated. And he is. Wonderful dog. I placed him very successfully with an older man who had lost his wife. Fenced in yard. Nah, he didn't keep up the training as I would have, but he adores this dog. Sadly, I had some health issues. At this point, he is in a rehab center. Hopefully, he's going to get the dog back. But he's having some real struggles. So that might mean Tater moves on to another home. Because he came here and he was trained, because he was given a way to please and earn praise, he comes back here even though he wasn't necessarily, the poster child for manners. He didn't have to be. Hey, easy. Good boy. Are you an excellent dog? You are. He's calm. He's good in his crate. He's housebroke. Okay. This dog has options. He's 3 years old. Fantastic dog. Easy. Good boy. And so whether he goes back in his home or whether he has a new home, this dog has a positive future. Because he wasn't trained kindly. No, that's not true. I promise I won't say that again. Easy. Good dog. Now we have another success story. This one makes me smile. I just am so pleased with this dog. Because I was so sad when he came back, and I thought, oh my gosh, he's had a fenced-in yard to run in. He's had total freedom, very little in the way of limits. After he had the dog for a week, he brought me back the crate I gave him. He brought me back the training equipment. He brought me back everything that would have kept this dog in line. He's just fine. Well, I know better than that, but back here, back what he understands, we have a very nice dog. Good boy, Tater. Over here, we have Mary. Good girl, Mary. Mary is the wonderful pit bull that we rescued last year. She's grown up. She's spayed. She's knows everything. Been a long winter. So Mary's been cooped up a lot. When the kennel's closed up, they're locked in a lot. It really is stressful. So what once was Mary's place with no pressure now has become Mary's place to protect and guard. A pit bull that's guarding needs a balance to that. So the piece that's been lacking with Mary now is structure. Got to have a balance. So she's had well saturated with a place of no pressure and time to relax, right, Mary? Mary said, I'm a working girl. She comes back to working mode. Mary's perfect. This is what happens just before, easy, good boy, Tater, leave it, good boy, come on. This is what happens just before we begin to really look seriously for a home, is we start the structure again. All the training is very sharp, and it's all positive. Most of it is not done by me, because we have to make a break from me doing most of the handling. So Mary is handled on a very common basis by other people. They become too bonded to me too easy. So all the dogs here are handled at arm's length. They're kept at arm's length. We don't allow them to bond so that the dog works for anybody who takes that lead. You're a very good girl, aren't you? Yes, you are. You are a good job, girl. And all she needs is somebody to appreciate her, and that dog is going to shine. Good girl. All right. Last success we're going to talk about today is sitting right next to Mary. Now, Kathy, been hanging around here for a long time. Okay, why don't you share kind of what's going on, Kathy?
Well, I have Brandy.
Wonderful,
dog.
wonderful dog.
She's a golden retriever. She's 6 years old. She has got a bad knee, and it's not getting better. It's time to put her down. And so I've been borrowing Z from Pat. And Tuesday Tuesday I took her and took her home with me, and we messed around for a while at the house, and we went to bed. And Wednesday I took her to work with me. Not work, I volunteer at the VA. And she was excellent. She hid under the desk, not hid under the desk, but
She
laid.
didn't hide under the desk.
She laid under the desk at my feet, waiting for people to come in and out, and watching whoever came in and whoever walked in and out. She checked out and made sure everything was okay. And I also volunteer with 2 other women there. So at a certain point, I had phone calls I had to make, so I let them take Z out in the main lobby with them and sit with them out there. And there were several people that were more than willing to take Z with them as they left, including the 2 women I work with. And I'm going, oh no, I'd be in big trouble if I didn't go back with Z. So, Z and I had a very good day. I think Z enjoyed it. She didn't go back to Pat when we came in. She came to me instead, so she enjoyed herself. But that was pretty much what we did. We just took the day and people asking questions, and I know one person came and got Pat's number and called her, and she's coming out for a private this week yet, so she's a good girl, huh, Z?
Now,
Yes.
around here, we work pretty hard with dogs. I'm kind of hard on dogs. We go through a lot of privates, a lot of classes. The dog I use has to be able to work a day and really be actively involved. Now Z is getting to an age where it's time to think about part-time instead of full-time. She gets tired. She's not a young dog. But I'm hard on dogs. I mean, I don't mean training-wise, but I put a lot of demands on them. They go from one thing to the other. There's a lot of variety, and very often I don't have time to sit with them and cuddle, which is the piece that's missing. So my dogs are all handled, just like Mary, at arm's length. As much time as I spend with Z, she's gone all over the United States, all over Canada. Z's awesome. But I spend so much time with other people's dogs that my own dogs kind of get pushed to the side sometimes. So for that, same reason with Mary, I want that dog to be able to work for other people. So Z is trained not just to be a service dog, but to be a service dog for whoever has the lead. Now in that way, she can teach people what a service dog can do. I can use her to teach people how to treat a service dog or how to be responsible for a service dog when they go out. And for that reason, when my dogs get ready to retire, and mine retire at a younger age, I could not depend on her when she's 13 years old because it's too much work for an older dog. So by raising dogs the way I do, I don't have the luxury of having a dog that is so devoted to me. My dogs are actually devoted to whoever has the lead. And it makes them very adaptable. And in that way, what's the most important part about that, Kathy?
We enjoy it.
And they're able to work for or be placed while they're still young enough to be a great pet, to be a great asset to somebody's life, or to help make the transition from losing that. I mean, a service dog, you are bonded to that dog, you're dependent on that dog, you're connected to that dog, and wow, that's a tough one. That's one of the toughest things about having a service dog, is that you need that dog. That fills in those pieces of your life that you can't handle yourself. That's that connection. So when you lose a dog, it's very hard to make that transition. Z is a transition dog. Z is a dog that Kathy's going to be able to pick right up, and Kathy knows what Z knows. Now Z's capable of doing all sorts of stuff. Even, it's just like Tater, even if Kathy didn't keep up the training as I do it, Z's not going to lose it. She comes back here, she's going to pick it right back up where she left off.
And I'm not going to let it go. I mean,
No, but She did get more treats with you than she got with me, just because of the other people.
The other people there,
She
yeah.
did get to
got-
go cuddle with you on the couch.
Yeah.
Probably a little more than I cuddle with a dog on a couch. Yeah.
Yeah.
She did go out and play in the backyard with you focused on her instead of taking 5 other dogs where she's expected to keep track of.
True.
Okay. So she got to be the whole shebang rather than have to share me with everybody. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And there's a smile on Kathy's face
Yeah, we had
because Kathy had a really good time.
Yeah.
So when we deal with these service dogs, it's well, not just a service dog. Any dog that is important in somebody's life, especially the ones that work up to emotional support, and I really believe that should be the dog's main job in every home. Not to be your entertainment, not to be just somebody that drags you around the block or somebody that you go watch play with other dogs. An emotional support dog that cares about you and supports you in your life. When you teach that dog to be versatile and adaptable, you expand its possibilities. Z, no matter what happens, Z is going to be able to become somebody's wonderful pet. I am going to have the fun of starting some new ones. We've already got them started. Haiti and Kate are both fantastic dogs. They're doing great. They're young. They need Z around yet for a while, just to set some imprinting. But I'll have 2 new Z's coming up. In that way, a person does not have to start from puppy and train a good dog. She just puts on the right clothes and away she goes, right?
Yep. Got dressed and no problems. Oh, he was a good dog.
And this is the beauty of doing things very objectively. Anyway, Kathy came in yesterday and there was a smile on her face like hasn't been there for a while. Because when you have an older dog that's struggling, you don't find joy in that. There's not joyful.
It hurts to watch.
It does hurt to watch. And in that way, it actually can do more harm than good. Kathy bravely spoke the words, putting Brandy down. Now Brandy's beyond just a bad knee. She has very bad hips. She was injured and her knee won't support her weight. A dog that weighs 100 pounds, and Brandy's been overweight her whole life. So a dog that has bad hips, no knee, and weighs 100 pounds cannot support that weight. Brandy can no longer get into a car. She can no longer climb stairs. She can no longer function as a normal dog can. Kathy can't lift her. So in that way, it becomes it's a physical problem for Kathy, it's a physical problem for Brandy, and it is very, very emotional. This is not a quick decision. This is a decision that Kathy has made out of love. This is a decision that very well could have been made a long time ago. But because of the love for that dog, it was difficult. Now, Kathy said the words with no buffer. But those were the first time she said the word really out loud. And good for her. Good for her. Because she's caring for this dog out of love, not out of what's easiest for her. That's what real love is. Now, when you work close, not just have a pet, but when you work closely with a dog, and that dog has been with you through thick and thin, that's even more love. Unfortunately, it's part of life. And it's one of those decisions that, we don't like to make, but all of us have to. If you're going to take the chance and be connected to a dog, we know the dog is not going to live as long as we are. And when we get a service dog, this is one of the toughest things that I start talking about right from the beginning before they ever get the dog. And that's why it's important to share. But this is not a story of sadness. This is a story of recovery. because you can't give up because you lose a dog. You move to the next one, and that one has new lessons to teach you. Is a day to rejoice and be happy and to celebrate that dog's wonderful life. And Kathy's smile on her face. So, don't think badly of Kathy.